Hello and welcome, it's June and we're back with another meta tier list. We got the new Abbey dungeons and also two new capes, otherwise some minor balance patches. As always, we got the Mists and Corrupted tier list, then the Hellgates tier list, and then at the end we'll have the top 10. If you're enjoying these semi-monthly tier list videos and have any feedback or ideas, do let me know in the comments below. Without further ado, let's get started. Mists haven't changed much. I think it's pretty close, but Carving seems to be the strongest choice at the moment. We still have the good old reliable Great Hammer, Death Givers, and Double Bladed competing for the S tier, but I think Carving has the edge slightly. However, this will change soon. As soon as the next patch is out, Carving will probably drop down to A tier because of the nerfs. It will probably still be a solid choice, don't get me wrong, for Mists and for group content, because the Pierce is still really solid. But yeah, we also see One-Handed Mace making a return. Used to see play in Corrupteds before. Originally, I think this was made popular by Coco, having decent success with it and made a video about it, and now more people are playing it. Demonic also got unnerfed, makes it slightly better again. Yeah, you see most of the same stuff as before. High mobility weapons are king in Mists, and also no IP cap combined with the open world aspect of it makes these weapons very solid choices. For Corrupteds, I think Bow of Badon is still the #1 undisputed best weapon as shown by Sarikaz. Probably the best Corrupted player at the moment. Make sure to check out his stream for a very strong display of how you can pilot this weapon to perfection. We also see more people play Bow at High Infamy since the rework. It's pretty solid, but yeah, in general, Corrupteds feature weapons that are good at dueling and not only based on mobility. For the most part though, nothing new and nothing crazy here since the last time. For 2v2 Hellgates, we can see that Demonic Staff is back in the S tier since the nerf on it got partially reverted. It's now the best choice to run again, but do keep in mind Grid Fire is still a very strong option. But remember, it's very ping dependent. There's better options out there if you have over 100 ping. A tier, we have Great Fire, Dagger Pair, and Death Givers, paired with a healer of course. And which healing stick is the best, you might wonder. Great Holy is the best option, but it's followed by One-Handed Holy and then Iron Root. You can still play those as well. For the sake of this tier list though, I'm just putting in the Great Holy image on all of these, but do keep in mind you can play other healing weapons as well. They'll just be slightly worse. In the B tier, we have some slightly worse weapons to run with a healer, but they still perform well enough and can win fights if the enemy slips up a little bit. Claymore, One-Handed Curse, One-Handed Fire, and Carving can do well with a healer. And don't worry, I know a lot of you don't like playing with a healer, so there's other options for you. We got the C/D tier here with off-meta comps you can play. There's too many to list, but here are some options you can run. Double DPS with Brawler Gloves plus a DPS, some one-shot combos as you can see, a lot to choose from, and off-meta DPS plus healer options. But yeah, that's pretty much it for 2v2s. For 5v5 Hellgates, the meta has stayed similar for the most part, except the Forge Hammer's nerf has made it not as OP anymore. And now people are trying different melee DPS possibilities for front-to-back comps, such as Carrion Collar. Unfortunately, Glaive doesn't quite make the cut in the Hellgate environment, as you're bound to run into a lot of melee heavy comps where the Kidnap is more of a downside. At the moment, the top 5v5 team is running with the good old THC dive, but with a quarterstaff as the DPS of choice. There's also another strong team with mostly high-level crystal players playing the Deathgiver comp, as you can see at the A tier. Deathgivers is still solid even with Royal Armor, as it has seen play before, even in crystals. Dot comp is also not bad since the 4G's nerf makes it a little bit more viable now. There's also a lot of variety in front to back that you can run. One team even played Permafrost and did decently with it. They got pretty good infamy with it. 4G's dive, obviously, as you can see, down to B tier. Barely viable in my opinion. And then obviously there's always one shot, which now usually opts for Carving instead of Spirit Hunter. Makes it easier to one shot the tanks. With the planned nerfs to Carving though, it's very possible front to back will be the top meta comp with the next patch, but time will tell. And next up we have the 10v10 Hellgates. Personally, it's hard to tell what the meta is because there is not that many teams playing. In general, it's hard to test certain comps properly due to a lack of adequate competition. I think that's one way to say it. Basically, you have one shot, front to back, and dive to choose from. but Dive is suffering a lot since many teams now opt for a Dusk Armor, and Dive can't really do much anything when you throw a Dusk Armor and a Sticky on the choke. They just, yeah, they just can't. Then you get GA'd and, you know, can't really do much. RBL comp is experimenting with Blazing now since the bug fix on it, but time will tell what the best comp is. It's really hard to tell at the moment, but yeah, there's a lot of viable one-shot variants that you can play, as you can see on the screen. But yeah, hard to tell really. The top 10 is looking very similar to the last meta tier list, but that's to be expected. Hallowfall and Bloodletter being some of the most flexible options for almost any content in the game. Hallowfall being the meta healing choice for pretty much anything besides 2v2 Hellgates and 5v5 Crystals. Clarent also managed to sneak into spot number 8, and I think it deserves it. It's pretty overtuned at the moment, if you ask me, and they need to nerf the base damage at 0 stacks, I think at least. Some honorable mentions, of course, we got Shadowcaller, Bear Paws, and Carving there. Makes sense. The not so honorable mentions, we see Wailing, which I really hope gets buffed or reworked, so it could at the very least see play in the one content it's designed to be decent in, large-scale fights. Camlin is here as well. I don't think the buff on the NDA will be enough, unfortunately, to make it playable. Again, the one content it's pretty much designed for, it's not even being played there anymore. Feels bad. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the meta tier list of June. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below. I usually don't make these tier lists every month because I feel like sometimes there's just not enough changes or reworks or balance changes, whatever, to weapons for it to be worth it, if you know what I mean. But yeah, let me know what other stuff you would be interested in seeing in these videos. All relevant links in the description below. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more content, and I hope you have a good one.